Welcome to this week's Dream Car judging video here at BOTB. We'd now like to hand over to today's lawyer from Onside Law who'll oversee the proceedings.
My name is Giuseppe Guerrieri from Onside Law, and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company Assets. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the center of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer.
My name is Kieran Fitzgibbon. I've played football for more than 30 years and am now a senior county referee.
Good morning, my name is Peter Giorgio and I am a futsal and football referee.
Good morning, my name's Andy Braithwaite and I'm a football referee, mentor and licensed observer.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
I'm Nigel Hicks. I've been a Supply League match official for over 30 years and I'm an experienced football administrator.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee, currently an FA observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Good morning, my name is Anna Gomar. I'm an ex-professional football player, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 8 individual selections.
Thank you very much, Giuseppe. Good morning, everybody. Before I draw some lines in, I'm going to come to you, Nigel. There's your purple cross that's magnified there. If you could explain what you're seeing in the photograph, please, and let us know how then you reached your decision.
Thanks, Matt. Good morning, everyone. Right, for me, we have two players contesting for the ball. I would make the green just about favourite for it. I think the ball's dropping onto the pair of them slightly towards the player in green. That's why I make him favourite. I think he's slightly more under it. And also he's slightly more up in the air. Both players are off their feet. And I think, on the rise towards the ball, and I take that partly from the player in green. His hair's swept back as he's leaping upwards, and the height of the two players relative to the two behind them. In terms of the position of the ball, looking at the player in green, his eyebrows of both players are raised. We can see that, so they are looking up as high as they can relative to the angle of their heads. But the player in blue, I can see, Matt, you're looking at there. We can see a bit of white under his eyes, so clearly his eyes elevated there. And he's looking up as high as he can towards the ball. So that's how I get the angle from the player in blue. For the player in green, we've got one good eye, and it's looking very high because he's got his eyebrow raised. He's looking as high as he can towards the ball. And for me, I feel that cross section of the cross line of where the sight lines land, for me, makes it the player in green, slightly more under the ball. I think is just dropping vertically towards them. So that for me is the picture.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Nigel. So I'll draw some lines in. As you said, this is one good eye from the player in blue. We've got a fairly narrow band up. And then I'll take this one eye from the player in green. Got a slightly wider. So we've got a sort of cluster of 6 above, and then my own and Kieran's at the bottom. So Kieran, I'll come to you before I come to my own. There you are, the green cross there. What did you see to reach your decision?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. This is an unusual picture for me because I can't see how two players would contest the ball going face on towards each other. I wasn't certain whether actually the player in green in the foreground, the one nearest to us, the one contesting the ball, has actually maybe already gone up for the header for the ball. They've got their arms interlocked. They've gone very close together, and I'm not sure whether the ball has just bounced upwards. But the player in green's eyes are squinted almost closed, suggesting to me the ball is imminent on his head. The player in blue is looking upwards, but again, I'm not sure he's necessarily looking that steep. Remember, we spoke before about looking through your eyebrows, so he is looking upwards. I think the two players in the background are on the ground, and I think it's the shot, the camera shot, that is showing them on the ground, sort of at a slight angle. I think they're looking in direction, but all I've taken from them is a sort of surprised look on their face. So this is an unusual situation. I can't see how the player in green is going to head the ball unless he's sort of going backwards or just trying to get some kind of touch on the ball. So that was what I also took into consideration. But my main aspect was I think the player in blue has also got his eyes open, that it's quite close and imminent. And that's why I placed my cross close to those two players.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. So you don't think the green is favourite for it? You think
I do think
the blue or uncontested?
I think the green is favourite to get the ball, but I'm not sure it's a natural header. I don't think he's going to sort of do a power header or head the ball forward. He may be getting a touch onto it. I think he's just going up towards the ball, but I can't see how he's going to head the ball in any particular direction. I think he is favourite to get the ball, but not sure how he's going to head the ball.
So in my view, I took a lot from this player in blue. I think he's got one good eye looking up. I thought he would basically knock the second player in green and sort of rotated him. So which is why he's got this sort of a different kind of expression. He's not as knocked off the header. And I've taken a bit of information from the two players in the background, the green player, two good eyes, and again, the player in black, in blue at the back, again, looking up, and I cross-referenced their eye lines with the player in blue, than Kieran, and a little bit lower. I thought that with the blue player's mouth open, the ball was fairly imminent. So next, I'll come to you, Andy. You're the blue cross there that's magnified. You're just above Nigel's zone. What did you see?
Thanks, Mac. Good morning, all. From my take on this picture, I echo the vast majority of what Nigel said at the beginning. I do think that the picture or the frame, for me, favours the guy in white and green in the middle of the picture. Yes, they are both very focused on the ball. I think it's a ball that's either dropping in from wherever, bounce high. But I think that the reason they've got the expressions on their faces is that they've both fully focused on the ball, and they both knew that a clash was imminent, but basically a soft clash, so rather than something coming in from a distance, piling into each other. So I think that they were both there or thereabouts, and they've both gone up for the ball, but I feel that the guy in white is favourite for it. The two guys in the background, either side of the central figures, for me are almost like red herrings, because we've got 4 perfect eyes on them, but I just feel that they're too far back for me to have drawn any lines in to make any difference to the picture from the two guys in the main.
Okay, thank you very much. And just under the magnifier there, you can see Liam's, the light blue cross there, just to the left of Andy's, on the roughly the same height. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, in the whole, I agree with. I'm right there next to Nigel and. Sorry. Good morning, Matt. I'm right there next to Andy and to Nigel. So on the whole, I agree with what my two colleagues have said. But I felt that the Blues possibly got a little bit more physicality about him, and that's what I take what you're saying from that he's spinning the guy in green and white. But you've got to look at, for me, I looked at the clear evidence we got this morning. I accept what Kieran's saying about not seeing through the brow line as well. But the guy in green and white, for me, his head is thrown right back. And he's looking realistically as vertically as he can. Yes, his eyes slightly squinted, accept that. And then we go to the guy in blue. He's got a clear eye line on it, brow furrowed, white under the eye, as Nigel referred to. And, that's giving elevation to the ball as well. I think that as I've often said before, you know, you got to tell, every pitcher's got to tell a story. And for me, the guys, yeah, I accept what Andy's saying about they could be like little red herrings behind, but they've got to, they're looking in that direction. So where I put my cross for the center of the ball, can they see it? Can they complete the picture? And they do for me, where I've come to. And that's
okay,
me.
thanks very much, Liam. Yeah. And just on the other side from you, just a little bit on the same level, is yours, Leo. You're a little bit further over to the left. What did you see?
Yeah, hi, Matt. Yeah, personally, I took nothing from the players in the background. I think the player in blue and green, both in the foreground, I think they're obviously challenging for the ball. I think the player in green is going to hit the ball. I think he's favourite simply because he's slightly above the player in blue. I think they're facing each other, which is a little bit odd, but it happens. I think the ball is just dropping down from above, and yeah, I cross-referenced their eyes, Matt. You know, so yeah, I thought it was fairly simple this morning.
Yep, thank you. And just a little bit higher up is yours, Alain. Yours is the dark pink cross. Do you agree with that?
Hi, Matt. Yeah, no, I think the play in green and white will win the challenge. I think he started his jump before the play in blue. Obviously, both of the players are up in the air on the rise. I think probably because he was anticipating the shock, he's got his eyes, you know, half closed. I'm talking about the play in green and white. So we can't really see much of his eye, but he's looking very steeply from what we see. The play in blue, we can see a bit of white at the bottom of his right eye. So also he's looking very steeply. So I think the ball is coming with height between the two players, a bit more on the play in white and green. I think he's looking steeper than the play in blue.
And just at the top is yours, Peter. Yours is the yellow cross. You're a little bit higher up on the same trajectory as the majority of the judges. What did you see?
Yeah, so I agree that the ball's coming in, dropping in between those two players. The green and white player, I think he's actually started his jump going up, and then the blue player, you look at his right arm, it's quite tense. I actually think he's got hold of his arm and he's pulling him down, which then possibly could make him favourite for the ball. So as he's pulling him down, he's going to be rising to actually meet the ball. And with regards to the height of it, I've just gone ever so slightly higher than the main group, just with my the trajectory of the eye lines and where that cross reference. But I believe that I think the blue is favourite. It's pulling the player down, the green and white player who initially started his jump first. But I do believe the blue player is going to be favourite.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. So as you can see, I'll redraw some lines up first from the player in blue. And as you can see, we've got quite a tight line up. And then again from the player in green. So there you have it. So just to reiterate, I've removed at first Kieran because he was quite a lot lower than everyone else. And then I've judged to remove my own, although we were sort of not mirrored with Peter and my own. If I put myself back in there, the calculated averages drops a little bit, but Peter's is still, you know, over half of his is in. And I've removed my own simply because the majority of the rest of the judges are on that same narrow trajectory up from both players. So if I come through to each of you individually again and see if you're happy with this or would like to see anything else removed or the calculated average moved around a little bit, let me know. So Kieran?
Yeah, I'm happy with that, Matt.
Yep. Peter?
Yes, happy with that.
Yep. Andy?
Yeah, that's good average. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. Leo?
Yeah, it's a good cluster and a good average, Matt.
Yeah. Nigel?
Yeah, well led as head judge today, Matt, with those 2 removals. And yeah, I wouldn't move anywhere else. I think it's a good cluster now.
Yeah. Thank you. Liam?
Yeah, as it is, Matt. Yeah. Happy with that.
Yeah. And Alain?
Yeah, happy with the average as it is.
Okay, so Giuseppe, after myself removing Kieran and then my own choice, we're going to judge at this calculated average with the 6 remaining choices taken into consideration.
Thank you very much. If you're all happy, then please click submit. Thank you, judges. The coordinates selected are x2085, y628. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company ASET to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you.